Loretta,
Hey,
how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing, honey?
I'm doing good. Gosh, are you doing a million interviews?
You know me, I like to talk.
Well, me too. I know. It's a wonder we're going to get edgewise in here at all.
That's what we do best, ain't it?
We just love to hear ourselves talk. Hey,
That's all right.
I know it. And congratulations on everything. You're just hotter than ever and just had a big birthday party not too long ago.
I'm just having a good time.
I read in your book, the end of your book, you said you'd never had a birthday party before?
Never had.
That's crazy. I mean, Patsy never threw you a birthday party?
I never had a birthday party.
Did you have anything that you
Even
celebrated?
when I was growing up, I never had a party.
Man, never had a birthday cake.
No, never.
Well, on the road, your band never gave you a birthday party?
That band of mine, I'm going to kill them. And I love every one of them.
Didn't they know who's writing the check?
No, they don't know that. They don't want to know it.
I thought that was funny. Do you celebrate anything? Do you have any dates that you keep up?
Well, Christmas, I've always known about Christmas.
Yeah.
That was the only day when I was growing up that Mommy ever told us about was Christmas. And that was a big day in our life.
I bet it was. Besides the spiritual part of it, what was a Christmas gift for you when you were a kid?
Well, Mommy always made me a little rag doll.
Oh?
So I got that. And every now and then we get an apple.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe some nuts. And that was the greatest thing that ever happened to us.
Well, the book is really interesting. You and Patsy. I was a huge Patsy Cline fan, like I'm a huge Loretta fan. And I'm curious, though. I mean, at this point in your life, all the things that you've experienced, and I know you've got to have a lot of great sentimental memories that you look back on. Why?
Yes, I do.
Why now would you write this book about you and Patsy?
I don't know. My daughter Patsy, the one I named after Patsy.
Yeah.
She kept talking to me about it and said, "Well, let's do it, Mom, and let's just get it done." I said, "Let's get it done, Patsy." So right in there, she fell and helped, and she reminds me of Patsy a lot.
Yeah. And when you go to write a book like this, you probably have someone who ask you questions like I am right now that kind of spur your memory about some things. Is that how you got going?
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, we've talked about even you and I. You still got ghosts in your house out there?
We have.
They hadn't left?
They don't leave. They stay. That's where they live forever and ever and ever and ever.
Was Patsy spiritual like you?
I don't think so.
Yeah? She was kind of straightforward, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was. What she had to say, it was just said it and that was it.
Uh-huh.
Wasn't no beating around the bush.
Back then when you guys were friends even, were you kind of spiritual that way as far as even seeing ghosts and believing in ghosts and those kind of things? Did y'all ever talk about stuff like that?
Not really. We never had. Well, me and Patsy wasn't together that long, to really get going about different things. We were just getting our own self situated around, getting to know each other,
Yeah.
And I wish we had more time together, but we didn't.
Gosh, well, we lost her too soon.
Right, but we'll see each other again soon.
I do know you mentioned one time, maybe it was in Las Vegas when you were going to walk on stage and you kind of had it and you were worn out or had a fear factor or something going on and you went out there anyway and you mentioned
I didn't know if I was going to be able to do my show because first time in Vegas, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to do this. And I walked on stage and started singing. I looked up and seen Patsy as if she is to say, "Get on with it, Loretta." So I went on with my show.
You just figured she's probably still up there cheering you on, huh?
Oh yeah, she's watching.
Yeah. I guess it's funny because And I love that picture in the book of both of you wearing real country outfits and whatever, all the fringe and all that stuff. And what got her? And of course, she always, all the clips I've seen of her, even backstage, and you certainly shine a great light on a little more behind the scenes. But what made her turn to wearing fancy dresses? And even, she always looked kind of cityfied. But she was still real country.
Really great.
Yeah.
And, right at the end, she pulled out this white long gown to show me that she was going to Vegas, and this is what she was wearing. And I thought that was the greatest thing I ever seen. It was beautiful. It was a white long gown, and it wasn't a full gown. It was straight, but it was beautiful. And so I was really happy.
Yeah. And you mentioned she pulled out a couple of dresses and laid them out on her bed or something one time, and she just you exclaimed how cool it was, and she just gave you one of them.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
That's what she'd do, If I said I like that, she'd give it to me, So I had to be careful.
and I love the chapter about her getting you to shave your legs.
Oh gosh, she got me in trouble many times.
What was it? What was it besides shaving your legs? Did she help you turn the corner on?
Makeup.
Oh yeah.
Makeup and shaving my legs and hairdos. Where I'd fix my hair and stuff.
Now, how did makeup get you in trouble?
Well, Doo never let me wear it.
How come?
Patsy was determined I was going to wear it. Well, he never thought I needed it, he said. I was pretty without it.
Well, you were pretty without it, but all those girls on the Opry stage got makeup on. You had to keep up, didn't you?
But he didn't think so.
But you kind of had your own way of doing things anyway, didn't you?
Yeah, I kind of helped Patsy along. Between the two of us, we'd get it done.
Well, I think it is cool, and you mentioned this several times in the book about how you met her after her car wreck, which obviously was horrific. It seemed like for her, especially just because it had scarred her face like that. And
it seemed like she was always in some kind of a wreck, and bless her heart.
It sounded like you also helped her get through a lot of those times. I know there was a point in the book where, she had a breakdown, just was so upset because she'd scared her 3-year-old daughter. I can't imagine how upsetting that must have been, and she needed a friend like you.
Yeah. Well, Patsy was a great person, and I was proud to be her friend.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you were a really good one. I mean, it was you. I guess there's a great picture too of you and Dolly and Tammy together, and I guess along with Patsy. I mean, you set the standard for all women in country music and sort of made women, for the first time, really country superstars. Do you feel like there's, in today's country music, it still seems like there's obviously not a lot of women compared to men in country music? Is there a reason for that?
They're not working at it. I don't know
why.
I don't know why. Because they're good singers and they could do it, but they just people just don't want to work at it. That's it. It's a little bit of work.
It takes a lot of work, doesn't it?
Yes, but it's worth it,
Yeah. What do you think's the most important thing about? I mean, you say work at it. What is it? Just how many dates you do, or whatever?
Well, just because you can sing don't mean you're good.
Mm-hmm.
You have to work at being good,
Mm-hmm.
When you're a singer, you got to work at being good because you're not that good when you start. You just have to get better at it. And sometimes nobody wants to do that, and that's the one that don't make it.
Yeah. I know you talk about being so scared the first time you went on stage. Anybody that's ever seen you perform would have a hard time believing that, Loretta.
My dress tail would shake so bad that sometimes I'd think people would be watching, and it would bother me. I was so scared. I still get nervous when I go on stage, right to this day.
Those are good kind of nerves, though, aren't they? Isn't that what kind of
Well, I
Get you
don't think
fired
we
up
are.
inside?
I would just like to go on and not be nervous.
You think you'd have the same energy out there?
Yes, I do.
Well, it's hard to tell. You certainly
It's hard
set
to
the
tell, but
standard for
I like to
performing and
write.
writing. How about songwriting? You still write it all? I remember you and Sean Camp not too long ago were working on an album and writing some new songs.
Yeah, I love Sean, and we need to get back together to write some, too. I don't know where he's at right now.
He's around.
He works all the time, you know.
He does, and he's a good buddy. And I was there the night that he played with you on the Opry, and he said he was back there just shaking. He said he had just come off stage, and then you went out and sang, and then he went out and sang with you, I remember. And we're sitting back there talking. He said, "You don't understand what this means to me." He said, "The Opry means a lot." He said, "And all the hits that I've written for people, or what I've done," he said, "but to be on stage with Loretta Lynn at the Grand Ole Opry," he said, "there will never be anything more important to me."
Bless his heart.
Yeah, you've had a great
He's a good
influence
friend.
on a lot of people, Loretta.
I love him. He's a good friend.
He is.
Thank you, honey.
Well, you're a great friend to our business. You're a great inspiration to all of us that have tried to pull on your coattails and get up there and do the good stuff. But you certainly have set the standard, and I appreciate you taking a few minutes and saying hey to me today.
Anytime you want to talk to me, just pick up the phone.
I love it, and love to Patsy too. Those girls
Thank you, honey.
those girls are bad and they're good.
That's right.
All right, love you. Take care.
Love you too, honey.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye.